how's it going, everybody? Actually, we'll play that a little bit low here. Nick Daniels here yet again. I want to do a rant video as per usual, so sit back, relax, grab something to eat, take it easy. We're recording this on August the 1st, but I won't have this up for about 5-6 days. But I just want to say for the record, I'm stoked because I got 1 month and I'm back to school, boys. So that's gonna be a good time. And if you believe it or not, my summer's just flying by, so I'm good with that. It happens when you work 7 days a week. It just kind of goes, and then all of a sudden you realize that yeah, it's gone. So I want to talk about why this generation, specifically this generation, is, you know, there's a bunch of terms for it. One of them, you're going to hear a lot of snowflakes. Basically, people are just overly sensitive, and we're going to talk about that. So I don't really know why, but I mean, obviously I have a theory, so we'll dive into that theory and we'll kind of figure that out, and then I'm just going to talk about it in general, kind of what sets them off, kind of thing, and you know, where I think it's going to go from there. So without any further ado, let's jump into the video. So yeah, so basically my theory of the situation is pretty evident. I basically think that people are definitely raised that way now. You know, and I guess you'd have to say it's the parents' fault. I mean, I don't really want to blame anybody for it, but it's to the point that it's quite ridiculous, actually. There's a chick I know there. Someone opens the door for her. She says, "Thank you." Okay, and he says, "Yeah." That's what he said back to her. Okay, and they walked away. Okay, he held the door for her. That was the dialogue, okay, that took place. Now, she said he was being rude, okay, and I'm like, hey, dude, okay, like, you're just really just being ignorant. Like, you know what I mean? You should be grateful somebody opened the door. Like, so that's an example, right? Another example too is when you start making comments, and this is where it gets really bad, because if you start voicing your opinion, it's like the end of the world. If someone doesn't agree with your opinion, okay, what that should do is it should start a dialogue, okay, a healthy dialogue, actually, for that matter, and people should be able to talk about that. Oh, you know what, right, he's saying something, you know, hell, I don't really agree with him, but you know, I kind of see where he's coming from, and we're gonna have a healthy conversation about that. Again, whether I agree or disagree with him, you know, and again, we can both voice our own opinions, and that's how it's supposed to go. You know, a debate is not, you know, insulting the other party or, you know, just making a complete mockery out of them, but it's actually having like a legitimate conversation with the other party, and that's what we can't have. You ever watch a lot of social justice warriors, feminist videos, transgender videos? Like, oh man, they're brutal, because what will happen is that somebody, like, and I swear to God to you, somebody would just walk up, microphone, whatever, and be like, hey man, you know, would you like to talk about what's going on, kind of what you're here for, kind of thing, and it just sparks into like a monsoon of trouble, you know. And there was a video I seen there yesterday where it was actually during Trump's election, and people want him impeached, and this young fella here, and he had a couple girls with him there, so I think they were like 16, 18 years old, and there was like a 35-year-old man, or probably older, and he was like basically yelling at the kid, right, because the kid supported Trump, and he had facts. The kid actually had quite a bit of good facts to support that. You guys gay? Two guys walking in like fucking hoodies, and he's got his arm around the other guy. It's like, okay, I mean, whatever works. Just, it looked odd. But anyway, yeah. So like I said, he actually had facts. So this kid actually had legitimate facts, and the grown adult was just yelling at him and just kept telling the kid he needs to get educated. And then finally, he just handled it. He's just like, yeah, maybe, well, maybe you know, you can go back to high school too, bro. Like, you know, like, it was brutal. But that's the thing. It's like, it's not necessarily the generation, but it's just ridiculous that people can't seem to take criticism. They can't seem to take any form of negativity, which I know I have talked about this before. A big concern on the channel I've mentioned before in a rant video was the fake personalities thing, where people try to put on this like bubbly impression that they're just so nice and outgoing and everything goes great in their life at all times, and then the moment that somebody like myself there just showed a little bit of slight negativity on their Facebook feed, the comments are like removed, you know what I mean? It's like, can't have that, can't have people seeing that. It's like, you know, in my opinion, you just gotta grow up. But that's the generation. That's how it is nowadays. And I like that they call people like snowflakes, because they'll kind of come out, and just because, like, again, somebody disagrees with what your belief system is, doesn't mean that you're like, you know, screaming that I hate this guy and whatever. And it's like, dude, like again, you don't know him. All you know is just what he's talked about, and you don't sit well with that. So there's a problem, right? And again, instead of having like a formal discussion about that, which is what you should do, and what I'm sure he would love to do, they just resort to other matters. Most of the time, they don't even want to hear the opinion. There was an interviewer from InfoWars. One sec here, we're in a bit of an intersection. So yeah, there's a guy from InfoWars, and he's interviewing, okay? And these two chicks, I mean, they don't look like they're that old, 18 maybe. They started crying in the interview, and it's because he just put in with facts. He's like, yeah, like, you know, what about this? Can you explain to me this? And neither one of them had anything. They didn't know what to say. And it's funny, just again, because it's like, it's great that they believe that, but they didn't have anything to actually back it up with. And I think he just kind of exposed that. And I don't think that's a bad thing to do. Like, he literally was just like, all right, like, where's your evidence? Like, you know, I'll believe you if you got evidence, but if you got nothing, then, you know. And like I said, they just couldn't take it. They walked away. Basically, being a sensitive generation too, YouTube, I find, is actually kind of big for this, because a lot of YouTubers will get like trolls and stuff. And man, you ever see those freaking breakdowns on YouTube? Holy crap! Like people there, like, I swear to God to you, like, people are there like bawling their eyes out on their videos, and they still post them anyway. So clearly they know, like, oh, that'll get some attention. But it's like, it's a little ridiculous, because, you know, you don't need to do that. But again, they get like a hate comment, you know, someone calls them fat all the time or whatever, and I'm absolutely certain that, yeah, that would get to any individual eventually, you know, kind of maybe even bring over the breaking point. But it's not the point. The point is that, like, they can't compose themselves well enough to, because once you give in, once you show them that whoever's doing that is succeeding, that's where you have lost. It truly is. Because what'll happen at that point is they'll continue. People will do that kind of thing on purpose because they know they'll get a reaction. And I mean, there's really no other way around that. That's kind of white and black. They know they get a reaction out of you. They'll just do it right to the friggin' day you break, and they'll keep going, man. And that's, well, that at a point is more bullying than just being overly sensitive. I mean, man, you can't even like share an opinion nowadays, again, without pissing somebody right off, and they get mad. It's crazy. Like, it's just funny that people just can't meet in the middle on like any like middle ground at all. Like, you know, you might agree with this and I might agree with this, but at least we could kind of see some common base, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but, you know, since you agree with this, you would still say this is true. And if they say, yeah, well, okay, like, I agree, like, I'm with you there, so you can kind of disagree to agree, or vice versa. But man, it's crazy. Anyway, we've hit about 10 minutes here. I think we're gonna shut her down. I don't monetize videos, stop recording.